Reverse Polarity, episode 49. It's me, your boy, Hi Vega, joined as always by the man who never sleeps, the new mayor of Tempe, Arizona, or wherever he was just coming from, the the man who once infiltrated Rockford Fosgate. What's up, Dean?
Hey, man. Oh, we went deep. We went deep, too. And it was Tempe. You had it right. I only got yelled at by security once, but not at
Only
Rockford.
once.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I went running 2 of the mornings. So I was there. And the second morning, they had this big business complex they just built. And apparently it was private. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the guy was talking about, but apparently I couldn't run on those sidewalks because, sidewalks.
Yeah.
And, so I was
but
like,
I'm Dean.
I gave him my disdain. I was like, whatever, dude. I mean, it's like 7 a.m. You really gonna give me shit about running on sidewalks?
Apparently the answer was yes.
Yeah, my rebuttal was choke on it.
Catch me.
Yeah.
Unless I had a golf cart or something.
He was in a golf cart, but he would have had. He couldn't have caught me. He would have had to driven all the way around. It would have been, because he was in a parking garage yelling. I'm like, I got my hat. I'm like, what? You're screwing up my time.
Yeah, you're slowing me down, bro.
But yeah, it was a hell of a trip, man. I'm not gonna lie. It was the flight in was, oh, by the way, STE Designs. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
The flight in was horrible. We flew from Tampa to Dallas to Tempe, and I don't know what it was going on in Tempe, but god damn, that flight, that was one of those, where's the bag? Just get the bag. I just put this, please, for the love of God, put this thing on the ground, man. We were in the back of the plane. That sucked.
I've never ridden the back. I've never been in the back of the plane.
I never go in the back either. I always pay to be up front.
Right.
Whatever, no. But even Fernando was like, because he's never really ridden on a plane much, but he's always flown with me.
Right.
And we always sit towards the front. I pay extra to sit towards the front. If I got to ride in this thing because we never go any place close. It's always 6 to 10 hours. So it's like, we're going to ride towards the front. We're going to pay extra to be there because I want nice seats. And on the way back, we were in the middle of the plane where it was nice.
Yeah, decent.
But, God, going in, man, that was sucky. But
and I missed almost all the live streams because I had to work overtime this week.
Oh, that sucks.
And last, so I was like, dude, I caught them on breaks here and there, but yeah, kind of screwed it up.
I mean, they were real particular about when we could go live. So they put out an email blast to everyone in the company to let them know we were coming.
Hide everything, all the top secret shit.
Well, not hide it because we got to see a decent amount of it.
Yeah.
But just put it away. Put it under paper or put a jacket on it, or put it in the corner so no one can see it. But they were real particular about like when we could go live and not when per se, but where we could be live at.
Right.
And there was always supposed to be, even at Kicker, there's always supposed to be somebody with you. Although I never really pay attention to those rules because everything's. It's like I know the place now. I've been there enough times to where it's like I don't go, oh, I didn't know that door was there. Oops. Yeah, there's a door there. You figure it out after a couple trips.
Right. Like, Kip, I'm going to need you to cash in that get out of jail free card you're always talking about. I just filmed the whole family of Solo X. Wink, wink, nation.
Yeah. But, so they were like, did Rockford tell you what you can say? Yeah. Yeah, basically anything that's currently released, we can talk about. Anything other than that, we can't talk about it. I mean, that's whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Rockford or any of the other NDAs we've signed. They're all the same thing. You can't talk about it until we talk about it.
Right.
So, if a company doesn't make us sign an NDA, then it really just depends on the companies. Like, we never signed an NDA with iData, even though we did a ton of behind the scenes work with them. We never worried about it because Mark and I had a really good relationship, and he was like, it was kind of understood. It was like, you're
Yeah.
not going to talk about this until I tell you, right? And I was like, yeah, of course. Why would I?
You guys are professionals. You
Yeah,
know what you can and can't do.
correct. Because if
Yeah.
we give it away now, for what?
Yeah.
We'll never
Like your new
learn
what
later.
scoop somebody or I mean what
Yeah, why?
yeah.
It's so unless you're going to pay me to sign it. I mean, technically, we get to. I don't. It's a job,
You're right.
it's really just a job. Okay, so if they give me money, that's great, but they didn't. But the reality is, we're going to get a first look at something. A couple things could happen. One, if there's a problem with the piece, we can tell them beforehand. If there's something we know you guys are going to like, we can tell them beforehand. If we get to help develop something with them, we know what you guys want because you constantly tell us, so we can help to try to get those things in there.
This is how we get you, Colby. We keep you off guard every single week.
I know. So, I mean, there's a lot of advantages of us to signing NDAs, and there's a lot of disadvantages because, yeah, I mean, there's certain things that, like, you can't talk about, and if you do, they get really, really upset. But aside from that, I mean, there was there was one video that we shot that was really hard to shoot. One live that we shot that was really hard to shoot because it was like there was stuff, and they're like, I'm like, we'll be fine, it'll be fine. And so we managed to keep all of it out, but it was like, it was a pain.
You just had to
It was pain.
I can imagine it.
But we got to, so when we got there, we were supposed to, Eric had it all set up for us, and we were supposed to go to eat because we left here at like 4 a.m. I got up at 4. I picked Fernando up at 4:45. Got to the airport by about 5:15, something like that. Flight boarded at 6:30. I'm one of those guys that just need to get to the airport. I don't know how TSA is going to go because we've been in TSA where we've walked right through TSA, and we've been through TSA where it was like,
yeah, they want to empty out your complete bag.
Yeah,
all your
are you
camera
checking
gear
my
and everything.
underwear? I mean, what
Right.
the frick is going on, people? Come on, we got flights to catch. So I would much rather just sit there and do this.
Yeah.
Then so the flight boarded at 6:30. So the plan was to come and eat when we landed. Luckily for us, we got to Dallas. We had like a 2.5-hour layover.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just go hit a restaurant and get some breakfast. So like I got like an egg sandwich. He got some scrap, I don't know, some egg, whatever he got. Eggs with breakfast stuff. and right down the street from your house. Just like when we were
right.
Yeah. And we landed, and he goes, Eric's like, dude, it took like a half hour. Apparently everyone was landing when we were landing.
Right.
Because it took him like a half hour to get from like the cell phone lot to pick us up. And he's like, dude, it's literally, we could have walked. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. And he's like, all right, well, I got bad news. No, we didn't have any barbecue in Texas. But, or in, we have had barbecue in Texas. We've eaten at the Pecan Lodge. And then there's this other place where you walk through this Dante's Inferno of Hell. And then you like eventually end up at this giant barbecue like thing. And you just kind of like point to the meat that you want. And some guy just like puts it on a plate, and then you pay by the pound.
This sounds like Dickie's barbecue.
It was, I've never seen anything like it before, but I don't know how these guys do it because, anyways, we went there with Jeff. Because Jeff, believe it or not, Jeff is a barbecue connoisseur.
Oh,
like
kind of guy.
Oh yeah, he's like real. And actually, every time we've gone out to eat in Texas at a barbecue place, it's always been with Jeff. Because he's like, we're gonna go here because they got this, and I'm like, okay. Yeah.
So Sherpa, be the Sherpa. Show me where to eat.
Yeah. I just.
Yeah,
he'll pay for the Uber, so I'm cool with that. Amp's picking up the bill on the Uber. I'm with you. Let's go. But we missed lunch because we had to get there right away to talk to Bill Jackson, who is the president and CEO of Rockford. And a funny thing happened. Like, you guys will get to see that interview. We actually had to shoot it twice because the camera battery died halfway through. So that was really fun. That literally just, I wanted to kill somebody. But he was so cool. He's like, no problem, man. Where'd we leave off? And we went back and we're like, right here. And he goes, all right, let's just take it up from there. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I ain't got nothing to do. I blocked my schedule off for you guys. And I was like, I love this guy.
Nice.
But what was real funny, it was almost so, when I say shit, piss, fuck, damn, all that, that's this, I get to do it here.
Right.
Apparently he gets to do it there. So he's explaining something to us, and he was like, somehow shit worked its way into the conversation,
right?
At the word, and I'm like, and immediately I'm like, I'm thinking, all right, so do I edit it out? Do I beep it, or I just leave it? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm walking through Rockford. I mean, this is the first hour we're there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
already it's like 3 big cuss words pop out of the CEO, and I'm like, I love this guy. This guy's the man. And at some point, I'm walking through down the hallway, and I go, I was like, oh shit. I said, oh, sorry. And they're like, no, that's cool. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It was your spot then. I mean, he was.
Dude, it was totally my spot. All of them were like that, man. I was like, should have took that job. I didn't know we're having profanity was going to be such a
bonus,
like a job skill.
Yeah,
I would have moved up through the ranks.
They have 90/10 insurance. You can cuss as much as you want.
Oh, it was great. But no, we had a bunch of meetings. But back to the food thing, it was funny. So the first night we were there, we got dropped off at the hotel, and we were tired, man. We were so beat, and right behind our hotel is this giant food mall. Every possible food you could ever possibly think of was there. And the closest thing to the hotel, because we were both tired, we knew we were gonna have to walk, was a Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, the Hooters knockoff thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, Fernandez, you want to go to, there's a Twin Peaks. You want to go there? You've never been there. I think it's something you probably have to see at least once in your life. He's like, it's the closest thing. I'll go, yeah. He goes, yeah, let's just go there. Because we were just tired, man. And I think we went live after we left there. We were walking back to the hotel, and we went live that night when we were walking back from that. And you could just tell how freaking tired we were.
Right.
And then we went to bed at a normal hour because we had to get up early. I got up at like 6 to go running. It was 50. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cold. Yeah, it was crazy. But then we had a lot of meetings, filmed a lot of stuff. Like, dude, I can't wait to get into the edit on this thing because it's so cool. They have so many engineers there. Oh my God. I swear to God, it's probably like normal employee to 5 engineers.
Wow.
If not more than 6.
Jesus.
Oh, dude. The place is just
what are they doing the whole time? Huh? What are they doing the whole time? Because they haven't had a new amp since 2003.
Well, okay, but you got to remember, they're all right. So one of the things that we wanted to go and learn was kind of the philosophy and everything there. Rockford looks at it at 12 volt is 4 distinct businesses.
Yeah.
You have marine, you have side-by-side, you have motorcycle, and you have car. Okay. So those are 4 individual companies, not really, but 4 individual tracks. And what they've learned over the years is that those 4 things don't necessarily play well with each other, meaning you can't put car speakers on a motorcycle, you can't put motorcycle speakers on a boat, you can't put boat speakers on a motorcycle. So all these things have to be purpose-built products.
Right.
And if you look at Rockford, like if you look at all the stuff they make for motorcycles, it's all very specific, and none of it moves over into the car world. If you look at like the side-by-side, they're again all very specific. Every now and then there's a part that it might be like some of the marine cans and some of the side-by-side cans look very similar. And sometimes they are, and sometimes they just look similar, but they have different drivers in them. Some of the subwoofers will look the same, but they're not.
Yeah.
They do have one engineer there, a girl, and she's responsible for designing the subwoofer that's in the new Harley bags that they just came out with. And she was really cool. And what was neat is we were talking to her as she's eating Takis.
Yeah, the Takis.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
sitting there eating those, and we're talking with her. And I asked everybody, so what car? What do you have in your car? What do you have in your car?
Right.
And she had a P300 in her car. I think she had a P312. Okay.
Yeah.
And we learned like something about that speaker that we never knew, because we just assumed that like the P300 is just like this thing that they bought and put their name on, or
Yeah.
and we learned that's not the case.
That's the powered
That's that
enclosure, right?
powered enclosure.
Right. Yeah.
That's 100% them. Like nobody makes that for them. Obviously somebody will manufacture it for them, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Somebody
They designed it.
They didn't pull up. That woofer is like a quarter ohm subwoofer.
Oh, is it really?
The
That way
guy,
they
the
can get the
engineer,
power out of that.
oh
Yeah.
dude, the engineer that was there was like, dude, that speaker sucked. Like trying to build that thing was a nightmare. And I'm like, wait, you guys designed that? And he goes, well, yeah. And I was like, he goes, yeah, we designed the whole thing, the box, the sub, the amplifier.
Yeah.
That amplifier like uses some, like the power supply section is unique to them. It's like their patented design on a power supply section. Like it's crazy how, because they all are like, it's 300 watts, but it's a 15 amp fuse, and it's like, no, it's really 300 watts. Like you can dyno it, you'll get 300 watts out of it, but you know,
that's why they're so good.
Yeah.
Because those things are great. And speaking of that small amp, small fuse.
Yeah.
So they have, I think it was a motorcycle marine application, the one that you just hook up a ground in the speaker wires and it amplifies them.
Oh yeah,
It's
that works.
discontinued now, but that's
No, it's not.
dope.
No, they
Is
still
it
sell
not?
it. No, they still sell it.
All right, yeah,
It's in the
that's dope.
punchline. Yeah,
That's
we
what-
actually, if you go back, we actually reviewed that product.
Oh, did you? I missed that one.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
That's cool,
God,
dude. I wanted to get Eric Russell back on 12E Talk sometime to talk about like that kind of stuff, because that is like the innovative type.
So how that works is it's got a huge capacitor bank in it with a power supply, and what happens is, because music is dynamic, and that seems to be the new word for music, is everything is dynamic. Well,
Right.
your amplifier isn't always putting out the power that you need, or it's only putting out what it's using. So as the music moves, your amplifier output fluctuates. Well, what if there was a way for it not to fluctuate but still put out music, and then you capture and release that amount of power that's there?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what they're doing, is that they're capturing and releasing that so that you get the added power and boost up the speaker. And it worked. I mean, when we did it, we were looking at the numbers before and after, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that works.
Yeah, that's a sick. If you have a very complicated system in your car that you don't really want to mess with, and you just want to replace the speakers and like maybe get a little more power to them.
Well, so the idea, once the technology becomes evolved, is that you'll be able to take a speaker that has that technology built into it.
Oh yeah, that'd be the jam. Yeah.
Instead of just, think of it like this: instead of you get a new car and you're like, these speakers suck. Well, instead of buying a new set of speakers and still using the same crappy power, if you have this built onto the back of it, into the actual speaker assembly itself, then you'll be 15 watts louder.
Right. Peanut butter and spaghetti sauce. Appreciate it, Thomas.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thanks. But yeah, you'll just by putting new speakers in, you'd get more power. And like, isn't that the goal at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the coolest thing ever? So
yeah, I mean, I need to talk to their tweeter engineers though. Be like, listen, the mids are pretty dope, man. Like, What can we do about these tweeters?
Well, it depends what. Okay, so there again, depends on what you're looking at. So
Right.
when it comes to, and there again, this is all stuff we knew before we went there. But when you look at power, because I don't use punch,
Right.
I either go prime or power. I'm not a fan of the
Mushy
punch.
middle. That's the mushy middle.
Yeah, but so T1 soft dome,
Right.
T2 hard dome, T3 soft dome, T4 hard dome. That's how that translates out. And then T5 was back to a soft dome with a
Right.
giant passive crossover. So, yeah, it was pretty interesting. But that's why their tweeters are different. Like if anytime, so like if you pick up like a T2 tweeter, like if you don't want to do a horn,
Yeah.
and you just want a stupid loud tweeter, we would just throw a set of T2s in there. Because you can buy the T2 tweeter by itself. It's like 130, probably 160 bucks at this point.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, man. Woo!
I think that's the same. I have the
Hmm.
Power T1675 or something like that. Those tweets are bright.
That's the
They're metal.
coaxial?
No. It's the comp set.
Okay.
They're in the Trooper now, but yeah. I mean, they're
Well, it's a T1 though, because it's a 165.
T1, yes.
So those actually are the softer of the two tweeters.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because that T1 is going to be there again, soft dome.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just sell those to my hearing impaired.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, listen, some people want that sound, and if you want that sound, they're there for you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like MB Court.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the old MB Court.
Yeah, and the new ones are the same.
Oh, are they really?
Oh yeah, they still have that nice metal tweeter, or they have the
yeah,
porcelain tweeters. Yeah, they're the
Ooh.
porcelain tweeters.
Those are like the tweeters that they're very hard to get exactly like you want them, but if you do, the rewards are great. But if you don't, they might get you.
I'm a soft dome kind of guy myself.
Me too.
So
Me too.
I like it squishy.
Like a couple sandbags.
We one Wednesday night we went out to eat with Casey and Natasha from Morel. So we had a good time there. It's funny. That's the one restaurant I can't remember what the name of it was, and Haley just literally drove me crazy because she's like, "Where'd you go? Where'd you go?" And I'm like, I don't remember the name. But I had fish, and I only say that because we went out to two really nice restaurants. Well, we went out to three really nice restaurants, but two of them we went out at nighttime, and both nights I had fish, and I was like, I've eaten more fish here than I eat at a place
and you
where
live
you
on the
can
coast.
possibly get fish from.
They flew it from your house to there to serve it to you.
They brought it with me.
Right.
One of the places we went to was this. It was a Latino place or Mexican place, whichever you want to call it. But it was a fusion between Latin and I'm gonna say Mexican because it was burritos, tacos, not Latin.
Don't cancel Dean. Don't cancel Dean,
no,
y'all.
It was. When I say Mexican, I mean from Mexico because the lady that started the restaurant was from Mexico. She flew to France to learn cooking, and then when she came back to Mexico, she made all these. She did Mexican French fusion.
Oh man!
So it was Mexican fused and fused with a French flair to them. So we had these really yummy tacos. Is basically what it translates out to, that you would never get at a true Mexican restaurant. And the restaurant was really cool. We went there for lunch one day. And according to everyone, when they knew where we were going, they're like, oh, you got to get tableside guac. You got to get tableside guac. Make sure you get tableside guac. Where are you going? Ooh, get tableside guac.
Is this all at the same place or?
This is still the same place. It's
still the same place.
Yeah. No, we went there with Teresa, the VP of Rockford. She took us out for lunch one day, and we had a very awesome conversation. She's really super cool. And it was great. Racist? No, God, really? Come on. It was really super cool because we had, it was having a lunch meeting is always the best.
Right.
But the tableside guac was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guacamole, even bad guacamole is okay. So
I'm not gonna go there, but
yeah,
but
I love
no,
guacamole.
we did have a great meeting with her, and that was fun. Because it's like I just look at it like, wow, she wants the vice president of the company wants to go out to eat with us. Well, then
Right,
let's go. I mean, yes, we've all sat at a table with Steve Irby, which is
right,
definitely a lot of fun. But this is a little bit different experience than that because it's a different atmosphere at Rockford than it is at Kicker. I mean, each one of these companies we go to, you can clearly see where the pieces of the puzzle fit and where they don't. And
right.
it was cool. And then for the base heads, we interviewed Greg Cobbs, former world record, current record holder. I don't know.
Okay, that's how I don't know. Like if they're, so I know the base had people from like 2000 and back, but if it's
Well, yeah,
post,
he was there. He was one of the guys that built Elma's truck, and he was
oh,
one of the
okay,
guys that worked with Brian Schmidt to uh, go at it. The first who Chris Yotto? No, not Yotto. Anyways, I'm not a names guy. Either way, they built a big ass van, smashed some records,
yeah,
um, and still has a record. I don't know, Flash Dance when that was a thing.
yeah.
But we had a great time. We interviewed him on our last day, which was a lot of fun. What I thought was really cool about that interview is, he's been in a ton of magazines. He's been doing this for a really long time, and every time he was in something, his dad asked him to send me a copy, send me a copy.
Yeah.
And when uh, when the at some point in his life, his dad handed him this picture book
Right.
of all his articles and all the stuff that was ever in, and like it had little arrows pointing to his name, so it was really cool. But
And every time he appeared.
yeah, I mean, and then we talked, about how many subwoofers he's had in his car, and
Yeah, all of
how,
them.
yeah, oh dude, just shit ton, and how he was really bummed that like I didn't remember who he was because he's apparently been in 5 Star before, and
Oh
when he came
no.
over, he was like, "Man, I can't believe you don't remember me," and I'm like,
Yeah.
I wanted to pull the Gene Simmons thing. Man, if you had my life, would you remember you?
Right. Dude, like I cannot remember people like we could go on a lunch date with my wife's friends and
Oh yeah.
I can't remember people like that. So I'm terrible about it.
Yeah. Dude, and trust me, I would literally walk into a room to start the interview process. Everyone would say hi and be like, Dean, Bob, Candy, hey, Tip. And I'll be like, who am I talking with? And they tell me, and I'll be like, all right, you're going to have to tell me your name again. And
Right.
then, all right, one more time.
Yeah.
We walked into one of the rooms, and there's this, what looks like an ink blot. Um, and it had a phrase in it. What was it? Let's do bad things. Let's get into trouble or some stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
go, dude, I like your Firefly plaque. And everyone just kind of like, wait, what? And they're all just looking. And later on, this guy goes, dude, I've been staring at that thing for a long time and never realized it was Firefly. I'm like, sorry, man, I speak nerd. you know?
Yeah.
Uh,
So he's had it in his office or just
It just sits on the side of his desk. It's just
yeah.
this little
And
placard that sits there.
had no clue it
No
was
one had
Firefly.
figured it out. I looked at it immediately. I'm like, why do I know that? And I was like, oh, Firefly. And then I looked at the phrase that he used to always say, and I was
Yeah.
like, ah. But yeah, no, that was good. So then we also went to MSC America, which is the guys that distribute Helix here in the U.S. So
Yeah.
they do Helix and Blam. That's it for the car audio side of things. So we did a tour of that facility, which we got to film, and an 808 is a musical instrument. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
It
I
totally
know it.
is.
Yeah.
And if you, what was that? If you have Apple TV, you can watch. Was it
Oh yeah,
the
the
sound? Not the Sound of Music,
I
but
never watched that because I never
dude,
turned back on Apple TV.
Oh, that was the best.
But it like
Listen to
check
the
out
sound,
Wu-Tang.
or
Enter the Wu-Tang, the American Saga.
I tried.
Oh, dude, come on.
I tried really hard. I got like
Yeah.
2.5 episodes in, and I was like, "This isn't going anywhere
Oh,
in
dude,
a timely
it's
manner."
good. It's good.
I had to throw in the towel. But anyway, so yeah, we hung out with the Helix guys because like I've known them forever, and got to do a demo in one of their cars and just have a really good time. It was a lot of
So
fun.
you went to a bunch. So you met with Morel. You were at Mobile Solutions.
Went to Mobile Solutions Friday. So basically, what it was is Tuesday. Tuesday we got off the plane, had to film. We were there till about 5:30. Wednesday all day from open to
Yeah,
close. Wednesday night, Eric had to go to college, so we dumped him off at about 4:30 and spent an hour in an engineer meeting talking
yeah,
with the head engineer. We walked back to our hotel because it was only like it was quick. So
yeah.
we walked back to our hotel. Casey and Natasha from Morel came, picked us up for dinner. And then Thursday was all day, from morning till night. And then Thursday we went out to eat with our national sales rep, this guy Joey that I've known forever. He used to live here in Miami, and like we've been, so he's like, "Dude, I'm taking you guys out." And I'm like, "Yes, you are." So we went out to this place called Bourbon and Bones. Great food. Awesome food. Had fish again.
Fish.
And then Friday was kind of our open day to do
Right.
whatever we wanted. So Friday morning we went out to MSC. They brought us back, and then we had some pickup video we had to do that I had gone through the video clips, the dailies, and I was like, we need to film a couple fill-in shots that I wasn't liking.
Yeah.
So we went back and filmed all those in and did the interview, said our goodbyes to everybody, and then we walked across the street to Mobile Solutions because it's literally right across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Where we met up with Tom Miller, Gary Bell, who's the co-host on the
Yeah.
the podcast,
Old
Old Fashioned
fashioned.
podcast
Right.
with Matt Schaefer. We went, so we went and did we did golf. What's the silly golf? Top golf.
Top golf. Yeah.
Yeah, we went and did Top Golf. So all five of us went and did Top Golf, and we all decided that we suck at Top Golf, except for Tom, who plays golf, but he just kept blaming it on the clubs.
Yeah. Well, dude, like I actually used to golf quite often, and last time
Really?
I had shoulder surgery or like a dislocation, and man, my game is I just started over. It's like I never played in my life.
Donation for High Five's 12-day of Christmas live stream. My personal
Yeah.
favorite.
I'm waiting. I want the 5-star 46 days of Christmas or whatever it was.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Nobody wants that. I'll send you the bill. Merry Christmas.
Oh, appreciate it, Andy. You're the man.
Yeah, no, we definitely won't be doing that this year. We'll do something, but it's not going to be anything like that.
Yeah, that was insane, man. That was insane.
We got like I don't even know if we should even bother with this year. Like we got it just seems like we knew after doing that it would never be anything ever again.
I mean, sometimes it's just like one off, man. It was a 5-star Christmas.
Yeah.
And hey, you can't always have them.
No. But
so how many cameras did you take, and how'd you let one die on the interview? You had one job. You had one job.
We let one die because we started rolling early.
Right.
And we just we took 3 cameras, and for some dumb reason we only had one. But, every time we do one of these, we learn something that we've done wrong. Because you always, that's just it. I mean, we always learn, like,
if you don't learn, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. When we went to Kicker, I learned that the tripod I have really sucks. And it cost me $250 to get my camera repaired when it fell off.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
When we went to audio control, it was more like take less, because we took too much, and bring a better mic, because with that one I don't know what we used for a mic, but it sucked. And then at this one, we learned that next time we do an interview, we're going to plug it into the wall.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So
Good.
I haven't ordered them yet, but by the time we need them, I'll have, which means I have to order them. I got to order them tomorrow. We'll have those with us so that we can just pop out the battery pack, put the thing in, and plug it into the wall. So okay, go ahead.
I had a topic this week, and it's just
okay.
I just random one, so we can actually cover this week, next week, whenever we need to. But
okay,
does car audio brand matter?
Brand matters to a certain point, but there's so many companies out there that are selling the same product with different logos and calling it their own. No, you're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong at all. But here's the thing. A lot of that gets confusing because of the build house.
Right.
So when you look at a company, like let's look at the big three American companies. So let's take JL, Kicker, Rockford.
Right.
Right. The big three that are still American companies. And that's not to say there aren't companies here in America, but most of them aren't engineer-based companies. So there's 108 employees at Rockford, and I only know this because we were there.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 2/3, if 2/3 of them are engineers of some kind, whether it be acoustical, electrical, some form of an engineer. Because there's multiple different types of engineer. They have structural engineers. They have that, and I don't mean like building, just like physically making structures. So they have 2/3 of them are basically engineers. When you go to Kicker, they have the whole bottom floor is set up for engineering, whether it be there again acoustical, electrical, or design. So, audio control, when you look at how many people they employ and how many people they have engineers and the amount of business they do, their ratio is probably the hardest to do because like there's only like six, I think there's 6 engineers that are responsible for both home and car.
And they actually make some of their products?
They make a lot of their products.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The home stuff, a lot of it is final assembly, but a lot of it is like it's like they solder there.
They're putting hands on products, not
there's
just
hands-on products being done there. Side jag for cardio brands, But now when you look at that and you go, okay, so these, and JL is the same way. JL has a ton of engineers that work there. They also build products to some regard. I feel like a lot of these companies do some form of building
right
somewhere. Something gets manufactured here. JL does some of their home stuff here. Plus they do a lot of their cabinets here. So there's a lot of things that these companies are doing. Now, when you take that and you go, okay, let's look at some of these other side companies. All right. Like let's look at Down for Sound. Okay, let's look at pick any one of these brands.
Yeah, like Wolfram or
Now, they may have an engineer, meaning one guy that it's like kind of says I want to do this, and they'll do that. Because that's not unheard of. That's not unheard. Like if you can be a one-man show, like you can literally be an engineer, a sales guy, and everything. Design the product, lay the product out, send it off, and have it built. That's a doable thing. So some of these companies will have that, and then some of these companies pay the build houses to be the engineers. Meaning, I don't know shit about engineering, but I want to sell an amplifier. So, we have engineers on staff. You tell us what you want and we'll build it.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like a good idea, but that's not really controlling your destiny. A lot of those guys are going to be warehouses where they just stock a ton of equipment and they can sell it to you cheaper because they're not paying 10 engineers to live there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, there's other aspects of that. So, let's talk about DSP for a minute. There's one DSP software that like 60% of the industry uses. Like, and they all, I mean, like from great, like badass Alpine products to Dayton Audio.
Yeah.
They all use the same software, but they all use different layers of it. They pay for different amounts of access in
It's
that
like
software.
it's like Android, somewhat.
Correct. It's 100%. It's just like Android. It's like DSP Android software.
Yeah. So they're putting their own little skin over it. They're doing their little
Moving
touches.
things around, design. Like when you look at like the basics of a Dayton software, it's very basic. It almost looks like a Pac-Man from the 70s.
Right.
Very frillless. But you're also paying $150 for a DSP. Same software, more expensive version of it, meaning they've opened up more doors, they give you more content, more accessibility. Really not frilly. You might be looking at a $250 DSP.
Right.
Full frills, full skin, designed any way you want, layouts customed. Now you might be looking at $450. But at the core, it's all the same software. Anyone that works with DSP a lot and has played with a lot of DSP softwares will immediately look at it and go, I know what this is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, where do they move the button on this one? You know, and then
and a lot of people don't get to play with a lot of DSP softwares because they just buy their
One.
DSP, one
Oh,
or
yeah.
the other. They may have had a maximum of 3 DSPs in their life.
I think that's too high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I was gonna say, I think that's too high. But my point is the software is the same. The entry version of the software is different, but now which one do I buy, so to speak? Well, there again, it comes back to the engineering. Whether it's in-house engineering or paid for engineering, it's still engineering, and you still have to figure out no two products are basically the same. I mean,
Right.
we've worked with we've literally had 2 DSPs in our hands that look identical. Totally different outputs. Like
Yeah.
totally different. Like you look at it and you go, bolt, screw, color, pin. Yeah, open them up and you look at them, you're like, oh, that's different. One little piece.
Right.
One little tiny microprocessor is different. Change the whole outcome of the device.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, and it's also $130 more.
Right.
So, I mean, it kind of falls into, so I guess a good analogy was like, you could buy a Chevy Cavalier, but that doesn't mean you have a Chevy Corvette.
Right. Right. Or you might have the didn't Pontiac make a version of the Cavalier? I forget what it's called. Sunfire. There you go. It might be the Sunfire, a little nicer. Or, it could be a Chevette.
With a square radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucked.
But so I have another angle of do brands matter? So I've got this question. I'm not going to name him because I don't know if he wants to be named. But he was saying that he thinks that certain brands don't get respect in like sound quality competitions, and I think that's honestly kind of a bit of a fair assessment, depending on what you go with. But then on the other hand, Andrew Henshaw recently placed very high at SQology in Texas this year with Dayton Audio, everything, DSP and everything. So, kind of how I explained to him, like it's not exactly that the brands matter in that way. It matters how you use them. I mean, as long as you're getting a certain level of quality, it's kind of hard to discern because, of course, you can't come in there with a cheap, let's say, Boss something tweeters that are just terrible. You're not going to be able to make those sound as good as a set of even the cheapest Morels you can get, probably.
Probably not.
It's got to be a certain level of quality, but the brands don't always matter as much on that. But then sometimes they do matter very much.
I got a good Burr Brown story, Bud. Don't let me forget. It was a funny one. But anyways, well, another funny thing is, okay, so like Brian Mitchell, Arc Audio.
Right.
We've all seen the video. Hopefully you've seen the video on his Cadillac. If you haven't, go check it out. We've done it. It's amazing. And it's got like the high-end Arc Audio speakers in it. He has won so many awards with this car. He's won so many championships with this car. I mean, he won Aggieland 2 years in a row.
Right.
And it's like, but there again, it's Arc. How many other guys have Arc Audio stuff that are like crazy famous and stuff like that? And here it is, a world champion, a winner of so many goddamn trophies. Like, you would think, oh my gosh, hey, I gotta have that shit. because
Yeah.
that guy's winning everything. But that's
Yeah.
not the case. So,
Exactly.
I mean, there are a lot of brands that, that just don't get covered, don't get, the
Right.
respect, as it were, that they need. But then again, respect is earned.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
And there's a lot that goes into the so-called respect thing. Is Respect can also be popularity. There's many ways to look at it, but you got to put the time in before
Yeah.
you get to be that guy that walks in the room and everybody goes, "Oh, it's you, Mr. Brand. Oh, I know you."
Right.
You know.
It's
So,
you go to these competitions, and for a long time, you would see a lot of Moscone, a lot of hybrid audio technologies,
mhm.
and I think people just, they're like, "Oh, well, this is all everybody's running." Well, this stuff is good. That doesn't mean it's the only stuff you can run and win. It just means, it's kind of proven people like it, and it's popular.
Well, I mean, that was another thing. Like when you look back, it was like Art Series Precision Power. Everyone would run
Right.
those, and Boston Acoustics or MB Quartz and extant amplifiers and Eclipse head units. And if you go back further, everyone had a 7909. EQLs, like, oh, you can only compete if you have EQLs.
Right. Right.
Zabco, there's another one, like you had to have, big Zabco
Th-
stuff. Oh,
Oh yeah, you can, and the left and right channel, the
mhm.
third octave. Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
do it
So, I
right.
mean, but there's a lot of boss at Family Dollar Store. There's a lot of really awesome brands out there. And that's, it's one of those things I try to tell people. It's like, yes, I love Morel. I'm a big fan of Morel, but that doesn't mean I
Right.
don't love other things. I mean, wife's not listening, so y- y- you know,
What?
moving on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's nice to get surprised by something that you don't expect a lot from. I've listened to like some of the Sound Digital GAN amps. Those things are freaking sick. You don't expect them to sound the way they sound. I
I don't
listened to
expect any of those amps to sound the way they sound. I'm not
right.
gonna lie to you. So
Yeah.
every time we do one, we're just like,
Like yeah.
seriously, wow,
Wait,
man,
I
this.
mean, the Dream 4, the Vivaldi, which was like a build house, made their own flagship to kind of
Yeah.
show what they could do, and that freaking amp sounded awesome. And Derek tested one that looked almost identical. That sounded like a sack full of butts. So
Well, it's because it's just a piece of aluminum with crap
right,
inside of it. So I
and
mean,
it made it look pretty.
yeah,
Yeah,
nobody is installing Alpine subs for SPL. I would hope not. I
no,
mean,
not anymore.
let's be
Back in the
honest.
day, the Type R's were pretty, but it was a different. Like subs are different now.
Well, dude, I mean, back in the day, if you had a Type R, I mean, there was very little competition for this giant aluminum. It was a pretty woofer. Now it's like,
Yeah.
they're a dime a dozen. Hey, do you have a giant 8-inch woofer with a spare tire for a surround and a magnet that weighs 500 pounds?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got 5 of them. Which
Hey,
version would you like?
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Do you have a 5K million amplifier I can put on it? Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to run it off your stock alternator.
Yes. 100%. 100%. So earlier he'd asked about Burr Brown. So
Right.
we're talking with a manufacturer, and they were one of the build houses. He was telling us a story about the build house, and I assume it's just like anyone. At a certain point, you build a relationship with the guys that are helping you make products and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they were kidding around because there was a manufacturer that wanted an amplifier built a certain way, and it had to have Burr Brown components in it, because that was the name. On paper, they actually made the amplifier sound worse. Meaning,
Because
like, if
you
you,
need things to go with Bird Brown to
yes, so, but it didn't matter. They had to have the Burr Brown chips in it, so they built the amplifier the way they wanted it, and everyone was happy because it came with a set of Burr Browns. And it's like, oh my
yeah.
god, that's so amazing.
Oh, and then they could write it on the box, it's on the box.
100% they could write
Bird
it on the
Brown
box.
right there,
Yeah, exactly, right there. Yep, and that was it, man. And it's like, and I can't tell you how many times that happens. I mean,
Yeah, there's how many times you know about one? How many do you not know about?
Oh yeah, no shit.
Yeah, I look at. I have something to share here.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen this. Oh, let me make sure I share the audio first. I have to stop it and then reshare it.
Oh yeah, yes, I know what it is.
So,
We
did you
watched.
already know about
We
this?
watched. No, no, no. Okay. All right. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
We didn't know about it
Right.
because we don't have anybody. I know a couple people at Jail Audio, but I don't know them. Like they're not going to call and leak anything with me. They're just people that I've known for years
Yeah.
through one company or another. And like if we bump into each other in the hallway, we'll probably talk for 20 minutes, laugh, and move on. But they're not going to call me and say, "Hey, guess what?" But when all this COVID crap started and all these manufacturers decided that they were going to start doing online webinars,
Right.
JL Audio started doing theirs. And I get bored easy, as most people know. So I don't always look at the same thing you guys are looking at. What I started to look at was, hey, wait a minute. How in the fuck are they doing this? Because their products don't do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was back early. This was, sometime last year. I called Jeff because Jeff knows a lot of the guys at JL Audio. And I
Yeah.
said, hey, man, how in the fuck are they doing this with their stuff? Because it doesn't do this. And he's like, I don't know, but I know there has been rumors and conversations about how, meaning he's talked to some of the guys about how their software can do things that they don't give access to.
Yeah.
And so basically they've been using this tool in their arsenal through their software for a while, and they've literally had it out here in front of us for us all to see and go,
Yeah.
how are they doing this? So as soon as I saw their teaser, I go, they're coming out with their RTA.
Yeah.
And Jeff's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, no, dude, trust me. That's the RTA. That's the RTA
Yeah.
that they've been playing with, that they've been putting in front of all of us for the last year, showing us how it works. That's it. They've built it, and now they're going to sell it. And so when it popped on today, I go, told you.
Called it.
Called it.
And that sucker is not going to be cheap.
I don't care. I want one.
Oh, me too, dude. Who doesn't?
I want one now. Yep. Dude, when they put up their teaser pictures of it,
Yeah.
I took a screenshot and I go, dude, this is an RTA.
Yeah.
There's a microarray right there. Manville Smith. I've only ran, and I did this with him once. I've never talked to him like you guys have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's there again.
We haven't had him on the show. We haven't had him on the show yet either.
I thought you had.
Mm-mm. He was on Everyday Audios, but no, he hasn't been on the show yet.
Yeah, no.
Love to get him on.
I've never ever had a real, everyone's like, you don't know Manville? I'm like, no. Would I like to? Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Sounds like he'd be a great guy to talk to. But, yep, ugly color, but I'll take it.
Right. I don't know. I like the yellow. And it's also an electrical RTA as well. I watched a video today.
Yeah.
So acoustical and electrical.
How many channels?
I don't know.
Exactly. Probably.
Probably.
It doesn't matter because it ain't going to be $200.
It's going to cost like $1,000 more than a couple $1,000 more than
So we're guessing somewhere between. So looking at what a DM RTA costs,
right,
and then what that's going to cost, I'm thinking somewhere between $1,250 to $2,500.
Yeah,
that was my guess. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But that was kind of my thought on it. Either way,
it's not going to be cheap. I mean, looks like a pretty big block of coolness, but it's not going to come cheap.
Does the teal spall specs on a speaker matter? Not at all.
When you're building your closure.
Not one bit. Means absolutely nothing. There's no
Yeah.
reason why they put the speaker through all those tests to get the, on the clipple to get those parameters. They don't care.
Oh.
And I got to play with another one of those, so that was exciting.
Oh yeah, a clipple.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man, these guys, holy Jesus, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you just like look at any Rockford product and you kind of look through the paperwork you get when you buy one new, like all the technologies that are in every single amp, going back from when they started. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
So they have this machine called a RATS,
Yeah,
RATS, which they've talked about before, but we got to see one. They build them there by hand, and what they are is they're the machines that they ship all over the world to their build houses. We'll call them what they are,
yeah,
and every piece of equipment goes through the RATS system. It's gigantic. It's like a refrigerator,
yeah,
and it records everything and looks at everything and touches everything. And if it that that piece of equipment is what gives you that sheet of paper at the end that tells you how much stuff it's put out. And if it doesn't go through the RAT system, you can't get that piece of paper. And if it doesn't pass the RAT system, you don't get that piece of paper. So nothing leaves there without the last step is to run on the RATs process, the whole RAT system, and
yeah.
test it to make sure everything is doing what it's supposed to do up to Rockford standards. The one cool
They
thing
used to
they
have the plugs like when
yeah
we had Chris Nelson
yeah
or Eric Russell one. We're talking about they
yeah
would just
Nelson
boom, boom, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it's an evolved process of that. It's much bigger and much more complicated, but yeah, it's basically what that evolved into. One of
Yeah,
the cool things that they did or they do for speaker testing and the torture chamber as it
yeah,
is what they got was one of those half uh, truck, half trailer truck things. So
yeah.
the big metal, but the short ones, and that's sitting outside. And so all the power wires and everything, all the inside amp rack and all that, all
Yeah,
run out to that, and they do all their torture testing outside of the building, so that
that's cool.
you don't have to hear it inside the building. They don't have to cut the dust caps all to pieces, on like their woofers
Inside
for
the
load
yeah,
tests and shit. They
yeah.
just do them out there.
When you're walking through Kicker, you just
Yeah,
like
you don't hear any of that stuff. It's just when you're walking in the back door, you'll hear some shit jamming, and you're like,
yeah,
oh. There was one video we were filming, and they were testing a tweeter, and they were doing their 8-hour test. And
yeah.
he goes, "I really don't want to stop this. Is that gonna hurt things?" I go, "Well," he goes, "I'm 6 hours into an 8-hour test," and I go, "No, you're cool, man. You're cool.
Yeah, high pass filter on the
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
We'll just play the background music really loud so no one knows
Yeah.
we're playing, Guns N' Roses. It's all right. So it's all good. We'll get the shot."
So, what do you have to pimp? What's going on? What's coming
Um,
up?
I'm just happy to be through it this week. I'm not gonna lie. You guys are gonna get what I like to call the reruns for the next couple weeks, which
Yeah,
is just compilation videos of all the many part 1 through 200s that we've done.
the greatest
Um,
hits.
yeah, the greatest hits. I gotta get some work done here. Like honestly, I haven't had 5 minutes since I've gotten home.
I
Um,
bet.
oh no, it's ridiculous. I had enough time Sunday to put together some compilation videos for this week because
Yeah,
like we so much of family. We went to Halloween Horror Nights last night. I got home at 5 o'clock this morning. Had to work today. Was it so Monday was the show. I had to stay up late Monday. That was the only day I had. Tuesday, Jeff and I had to film a video for Mobile Electronics Association because the industry awards are starting up,
yeah,
and we're on the board, and they wanted a video kind of explaining the new part of some of the new stuff that we just came up with. So
yeah.
Jeff and I did we did a really funny video. Let's just call it. I don't know. Jeff was in a really weird mood Tuesday night, and he was just Like he was channeling his inner Will Ferrell through the whole damn thing.
Oh, dude, that sounds awesome.
I mean, when it gets posted, I'll send you a link. But
Yeah,
so I was like, okay, he's being goofy. I'll play the straight guy.
right.
So that turned out really cool. And so I had to do that Tuesday night. Wednesday night we went to hunting. So tonight we're doing this. So it's like I haven't gotten sleep since we've gotten back.
Well, you don't ever sleep though.
Yeah, but I'm really tired,
It's
man.
bad this time, guys. It's bad.
We were driving home last night, and I wanted to stay awake because Sue was driving, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm like literally talking, and I'm like,
yeah.
and I'd wake up, and I'd be like, still, she's like, dude, that was 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm going out. I'm blacking out here.
Yeah,
Wait, any updates on the IRTA? What's going on?
there again, that's one of the
Back
other
burner.
things that I got to get done is just get that.
Right.
Regardless of whatever, we have this week. We're just trying to get through. Next week, we're trying to get through. Then SEMA, and then after SEMA, you'll get the Rockford video and all the other fun stuff that we have waiting. So it's just a lot of stuff I got to get done. It really sucks. So
Yeah.
but hey, man,
Good times, man.
I guess
I just been working
tried.
some overtime, so yeah, been putting out videos.
Yeah,
Oh, I got one thing to show up before we sign out. Check it out. Let me get the focus going.
No, not gonna happen. There you go.
There it goes.
Got that
He
shrink
shrink,
wrap.
man. He shrink, man.
Yeah, Wire Care for the win. Love those guys. Wire Care was awesome. They participated in the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they gave away
they done the shirt too.
Yeah, they gave away a full ferrule kit and whole little toolbox with shrink wrap and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think Kyle ended up with the 5-star Wire Care shirt because it was a 2X, and I was like, some 2Xs will be okay, some won't. This one wasn't.
Yeah.
So it got handed down to Kyle.
I'm sure he was so bummed.
Yeah.
That's a cool shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's almost as cool as this shirt. This is a cool shirt. Where could you get something like this?
You could get it at dnfswag.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think we should end on that.
I think we should end on that too.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should talk about this other thing that we do.
The show after this?
Right.
Yeah.
That I don't have pulled up.
But yeah. I just literally got done watching it before we went on.
I watched it Sunday because I had to work overtime, but yeah, I've got things to say about it.
I started to watch it in the car yesterday, and I fell asleep.
Yeah,
on the drive over. Well, to get off early to go do that, I had to go in 2.5 hours early, and of course I was up till. So I got like 4 hours of sleep, and then I got 2 hours of sleep last night. So
just need caffeine, Dean.
No, I just need bed. But hey, whatever it takes.
I put the link in the chat, and yeah, we'll see everybody over there.
Right over there.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. All right, I almost made it.
Dean will probably not have enough sleep